Welcome. I'm here with Jeff Thorne, and what I'm endeavoring to do is help to demystify the experience of working with RTT. Especially men are getting out of it because it seems that men traditionally have been told to stuff their feelings, hide their feelings, and it seems like that makes life a more difficult journey in some ways for men than for women. What are your thoughts and feelings on that?
Well, it's all true. Being a man in this work is, well, it's really rewarding, first of all. And thanks for inviting me here today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You've done so much work on you and have wow, you've blossomed and traversed so many levels of beingness in the last decades of your life. I'm very happy to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
You're welcome. So, what I found, and it's been my experience that I had to really forget everything that I learned up until the point of about 3 years ago, which is a lot, what it means to be a man, what men do, what men feel, what men show, all those things I had to let go of to kind of figure out how to get to a place where I would become vulnerable and actually open up my heart. For a lot of guys, I mean, I can speak for myself, that it's very scary.
Yes. I recently did another interview and he said he worked with, and I've had the same experience with Vietnam veterans, and they'd rather be in a situation with bullets flying by than dealing with the feelings, because that in some ways feels scarier.
Well, yeah, because those are no's. The unknown for men, because, think back to, what we're taught. We are protectors and we are providers. That's what I was taught growing up. That is my role in a relationship or in the world. I have not let go of the protector role completely because I've got two daughters, and I think that I'll always carry some of that. But even with that, I have to recognize that, the plans that the universe has for me are not my plans, but are probably the best plan. And so to let go of one's own desire to control things and to control a predictable, logical outcome, that was one of the biggest hurdles of getting to the path of enlightenment. And it's tough, it's tough because what do they say? They say, boys don't cry. It turns out that I cry a lot now. I let go of a lot of emotions and a lot of tears. And even though it's become easier, it's still not a social norm, is it? To see men crying, when other men see that, that's a sign of weakness.
And yet there are men's groups forming that allow that space and also allow the protector masculine role to co-thrive. Is that a good way to say that? Because it doesn't make a man necessarily less masculine to be able to know what he's feeling and navigate his feelings.
Right.
In fact, I think that actually would have the reverse effect of making that man more attractive because he has conquered that. Because it is a conquering of sorts.
It is a mastery of oneself, and it's a daily project, but it started when I've been into a 10-year comeback, and about
I'd love to know what was it that kind of, because we all get pushed into our transformations. And I really like working with people who right off the bat, I want to know it's an 8, 9, or a 10 need to change and an 8, 9, or 10 commitment to change, because as Dr. Joe says, and then my teacher Marissa Peer, the brain likes what's familiar,
Mm,
and we just automatically, our nervous systems go kind of haywire when we leave the familiar, even if the familiar is awful. It's like Stockholm syndrome. At least it's familiar.
right, the unknown, right? It used to be very scary for me, but now I look at it as more of an adventure than as a scary, not known. Because if I look at my history, the universe has had my back on every event that I've ever had in my life, and there's a reason that I am still here. By all accounts, I really shouldn't be here, but I am. So that means that there's something of a higher purpose for me to do. And so that keeps me seeking different ways to show love and to give to others. So that's what keeps me driving today. But
What forced you into the work?
okay, so into my 10-year comeback, about 5 or 6 years in, I was doing a lot of volunteering. I was doing a lot of giving back, a lot of really great feel good things for myself and for the community. But after all the money I had made, all the success I'd achieved, I still felt like there was something missing. I've heard Dr. Joe say, what else is there? And that's really the feeling that I had is this all there is? And coming from being a recovering Catholic that I am and not really buying into the organized religion, I was seeking spirituality. And somebody said, you ought to watch that movie, The Secret. And so I did, and what a change came over me as to the cause and effect of our thoughts and our words and how we literally manifest what we speak of and what we think of. So I immediately started doing affirmations, 4 hours plus a day, driving in my truck from job to job. I would be yelling and shouting affirmations, and I saw almost immediate results. And then I started following the people in the movie The Secret. I started the Bruce Lipton, the Joe Dispenza, and I started watching some of Joe's testimonials on YouTube, and I was just so touched by them. I started going online and tried to get on some of his events, and because of scheduling problems with my wife and I, we could not commit to a single event, and then Dubai sprung up, and I clicked on Dubai, and
How many years ago was that?
that was 2.5 years ago.
Okay, so this is fairly recently, but there was a lot of time that elapsed between The Secret coming out and your first Dispenza event.
Well, I had discovered the movie The Secret not right when it came out. I discovered it but friend recommended it to me, and so it was 3 years now since I discovered that movie, The Secret. Then I read the book, and then I started doing research on some of the people that were in it, and it was eye opening for me. It opened up a whole new cause and effect reasons why things have happened in my life, and after doing affirmations in my business doubling literally in 6 months, and moving towards tripling, I signed up for this event in Dubai. I had been doing the meditations at home, trying to figure it out, doing the breath, and I went to Dubai, flew 26 hours to the other side of the world by myself and did this event. And the first 3 days were just a lot of struggle and trying to, get into the zone. And I saw these women having all these incredible experiences, and I'm like jealous of their experiences. And I'm pushing and pushing, trying to control it, expecting an outcome. And of course, that doesn't work. And so on day 4, we did coherence healings for some people. And I threw my hands up. I said, I'm just going to show up. I'm going to suit up and show up, just be there for someone else with no expectation of anything, because I'd never done a healing before. And in the process, when we did the healing, I felt electricity running between my hands, and that freaked me out a little bit. And then, onto the Healy, and their body was jumping, gyrating on the floor. And then when we brought our hands back to our own heart, oh my God, I started involuntary sobbing uncontrollably. And I did that for about 5 minutes solid, and it felt like I was having an out of body experience. And it felt like in that moment that I let go of so many resentments, so much hate, so much of everything that wasn't supporting the light in me. And I walked around on, a cloud for the next 48 hours and just was amazed at that experience. And from that moment till now, I changed dramatically. I stopped chasing money. My business is up for sale. I want to teach meditation and and give the gifts that I've been given back to people that don't know about it.
As my teacher Marissa Pierce says, our feelings are the most real thing we have. Isn't it wonderful when we actually feel them
Yeah, right.
and take instruction from them? That's so beautiful.
Hey guys, studies are showing that 68% of people that watch podcasts regularly don't click the subscribe button. Do me a huge favor. If you like this content, click subscribe so other people know where to go for the cool stuff. Thank you.
So we came into contact through a meditation group several months ago. What was the thing that made you want to experience the RTT process that I do?
Well, I didn't seek out RTT specifically, but I felt when I met you, I feel energy now. So I feel good energy. I feel bad energy. I have my intuition, because I'm in touch with my heart now. My intuition is heightened. And I felt like you had good energy. And I've learned several modalities of meditation since going to see Dr. Joe. I've learned TM, transcendental meditation, and I want to seek out different ways or different paths to enlightenment, no matter what it is. So I thought that I'd give you an opportunity to work with me, and me an opportunity to work with you. And so far, it's been great.
Fantastic. What do you feel like was the biggest benefit to the session that we did?
Peace.
Mm.
Just I came out of it very peaceful and enlightened to the things that were holding me back, the thoughts and the struggles that I have had, and the old beliefs. It's like I've got this new toolbox right here, and it's got all these shiny, great tools, and they work really good, and they're amazing. And then I've got these old rusty tools over here, but these tools are all familiar, and I know how they work. And even though they're rusty and they're antiquated, and they still kind of work. And in the times of stress and anxiety, I tend to vacillate back to old tools because I know what their effects are. And that is just really a reaction.
So you were able to upgrade to your new shiny toolbox that has really cool stuff in it
Yeah.
easier.
I've lost my toolbox. I don't know where it is.
Fantastic.
I
Yeah.
don't know where it is anymore.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And those are tools like guilt that I would use in situations, or anger that I would use in situations, and instead of applying love to situations, no matter what the cost to me personally. And that's the thing. I do battle with my ego every day. And that, as guys, that is a battle worth fighting. Definitely worth fighting, because it's once you conquer your ego and you can set it aside, then you allow your heart to open and let love come out.
Fantastic. So what would your advice be to somebody, perhaps a man, suffering, struggling? And a lot of men, I think, don't do the work, don't come for the sessions because they're afraid, even, and they'll make up a whole bunch of reasons, excuses. But what would your advice be to that person that's struggling, suffering, sweating it through each day, that clearly needs some help?
Let go. It's the hardest thing to do. Okay.
You're doing great. Thank you so much.
It's letting go of old ways of dealing with things, letting go of old techniques, running away, hiding from yourself in alcohol or drugs or sex or TV or movies, whatever you want to, or eating. There's a million ways to run away from yourself, and they're developing more and more every day. But letting go, while it's the hardest thing to do as a man, letting go of the old concepts of what it is to be a man, and letting go of all the beliefs that you have held because of the teachers that you've had that didn't know any better, didn't know that we're all just human.
And when we did your session, you were able to see with clarity the old toolbox that didn't serve you anymore and get rid of it in favor of the new toolbox that is working for you. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, great. I really appreciate you being here. Is there anything else that you would like to tell people that are suffering and are on the fence about coming in and finding out what the demons are and letting them go?
Yeah, it's gonna be scary at first, and it's gonna be vulnerable, uncomfortable, and it's going to be unusual. But after you walk through it, it will be very helpful. It will give you peace here.
Isn't it kind of like looking under the bed for the monster and realizing there's no monster under the bed?
Yeah, it's the monster in your head.
Yeah. And by going in, finding it, seeing it for what it is, it can go away. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it's about understanding yourself, because guys, I mean, we're not encouraged for self-discovery much more than physically.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So discover your heart, discover your soul. What is your purpose for being here? It can't be to be punching a clock every day and working for somebody else, doing stuff that you know doesn't make you happy.
Well, and it can't be to just punch through everything all the time. Is it really supposed to be that hard?
No.
And
No, it's usually a sign that you're not on the right
yeah, and does it make your business more successful, your relationships more successful, your parenting ability more successful to be grinding and sweating it out and muscling through it? Or does it make you a better, more functional entity to be aware of what's going on and able to navigate appropriately with strength, as Joe would say, nobility, and, you know, qualities that require attunement to that level of awareness?
Yeah.
I'm guessing my hallucination is that your ability to have relationships, run your business, be happy in whatever you choose to do now is exponentially better, stronger, more flexible, capable, and aware than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, and I don't need to seek others' approval to do that. So just know that in this work, it's not something you could go to the bar and talk to your buddies about, because it's not a social norm for guys. But it is probably one of the most rewarding things you can do for yourself, is to get to know who you are in the inside and why you do the things you do.
Yes.
I know there was a long time that I was wondering, well, why do I keep doing that? And most of it had to do with my relationship with myself. Can I talk to my male friends about this on a regular basis? A few of them. The funny thing is that just like a pair of tennis shoes growing up, when you grow as a human, when you evolve as a human, you end up growing out of friendships that used to serve you. And now I've got new friendships that actually embrace talking about things of the heart with other men.
Beautiful. How good does it feel waking up in the morning with this new you versus you of 5 years ago?
I don't have to take any substances to stand being around me.
Oh, beautiful.
Anything. I don't have to take anything to love who I am, and I don't need the approval of anyone else in the world. That's a good feeling.
And my hallucination is also there's a lot more optimism now than there was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I just look for opportunities to serve others, and it turns out that's what my business is trying to find ways to help others. I think that's probably one of the things that makes me happiest is, the heart of a servant. That's what I've become. Instead of the ego of a giant, my heart is of the servant.
If you had not gone down the road of enlightenment, self-journeying, getting to the heart energy, what would that have cost you?
And I would not be here.
Beautiful.
I'm not be here to talk about it.
Well, thank you so much. I love that you're here, and it's always great to work with accomplished people that value and pursue the energy of the heart and giving back to the community and others, because that spreads with such joy and peace and abundance and all the things that we all gravitate to and love to cultivate in our lives.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, and we'll be coming out with more videos.
This podcast is intended for the purpose of providing information and education. It does not provide advice and is not meant to be used for any self-diagnosis or the replacement of any kind of licensed professional. The creators and individuals appearing here do not endorse any specific tests, positions, medications, products, or procedures. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.